with meteorologist Sarah Gannon.
We have a first alert day ahead for the area tomorrow, our Friday. Hopefully you're able to enjoy those beautiful conditions outside today. Stormy conditions heading our way for tomorrow. So here's what's in store. We're tracking the threat for some strong, even severe thunderstorms moving through the area. Portions of the viewing area right now under a level 2 out of a level 5 severe threat. We have the potential for all hazards being possible tomorrow. Tornadoes, wind and hail. I do think wind and hail will be our primary threats for tomorrow. However, we can't quite rule out maybe an isolated tornado or two. So looking at that severe storm outlook, you can see a good chunk of the middle part of the United States potentially under that threat for some severe weather. You can see that level 3 threat stretching from Wisconsin down through Iowa, portions of Illinois into Missouri, back towards Kansas, and even into Oklahoma. So a very large swath of the central part of the country potentially being impacted by severe weather tomorrow. Zooming in closer to home, you can see how much of southern Minnesota, northern Iowa here is under that level 2 severe threat for tomorrow. And as we get closer to the Mississippi River side, looking at that level 3 threat starting to creep into the viewing area. So I do think the greater threat for severe activity should stay to our east. However, some of our far eastern counties like Houston County into portions of Fillmore, Winneshiek, Alma, Key counties may possibly get clipped with some of those stronger to severe thunderstorms tomorrow. So looking at that tornado threat, again, that greater concern is going to be across the river. However, portions of the viewing area may see the possibility of an isolated tornado or two. So again, our threats expecting to stay with that wind and hail as the primary concerns for the area. We could be looking at some wind gusts upwards of 50 to 75 miles per hour and potentially some large hail on the way too, anywhere from quarter to maybe up to golf ball sized hail. That tornado threat, as I mentioned, is on the lower side, but not entirely zero. So while wind and hail will be those primary threats, tornado threat not quite out of the question. So there could be the possibility of an isolated tornado or two possible tomorrow, but I do think the greater threat for that stays east of the Mississippi. Let's time things out here with Future Track tomorrow morning. We could be looking at storms initiating after about 9:30 tomorrow morning and continuing to push east here as that cold front rolls through. I do expect to see probably the greater window for severe storms to be closer to that 11 o'clock through about 4 or 5 o'clock there in the evening. But I think afternoon time frame has the greater potential to see any strong to severe thunderstorm activity. And once that cold front pushes out of the area, I'd say after about 5, 6 o'clock, notice how we could be looking at that potential of more storms, but they stay east of the river. Really looking at those thunderstorms to ramp up there into those evening hours, especially into Wisconsin. But the good news is once that cold front clears, we are done with storms. We are done with that severe threat for the remainder of our Friday. So your Friday evening looking quiet, especially as we head into the weekend, looking to settle into a quieter pattern. So some great news there. And what we need to know here heading into this active Friday for us is the best timing for those isolated strong to severe storms is going to be from noon through about 5 o'clock in the evening. So again, kind of that afternoon time frame is prime time for that severe activity. And again, the highest threats I expect to see closer to the Highway 52 area and especially east. Then on the back side of that frontal bound, that cold front, and we'll see those cooler temperatures settling in. So a mild, quiet start there around 7 a.m. as you're heading out the door tomorrow with temps in the 50s and those lower 60s. Afternoon highs will be in the 70s. And again, that threat for those thunderstorms there into the afternoon. Once we clear that, then we see that big temperature drop after our first alert day Friday. We'll look to see those quiet quiet conditions this weekend into next week. Temperatures settling into the 40s, so it will be chilly this weekend. But next week, looking to see temperatures rebounding back to above average temps in the 60s and even 70s here in southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. So we get a multi-day break from the rain. However, next weekend, maybe looking at additional shower and thunderstorm threats.
A lot of wet weather coming our way.
Yes.
Sarah, thank you.